Craving pumpkin pie mix or shelf-stable fruit from your local big box store? While convenient, some options may not be the best choice. If you're after quality, consider avoiding these products for a tastier and more satisfying experience. While a hot pot roast sounds delicious, Progresso's light beef pot roast soup falls short. Though it's low in calories, gluten-free, and contains half a cup of vegetables, it's mostly broth with very little meat. One-star reviews on Walmart's website highlight that the soup lacks the hearty substance you'd expect from a pot roast. A weak broth with a couple tiny chunks of grisly meat that look like cat food and a few tiny vegetables. Very few. Other reviews agree, stating that this soup sacrifices flavor and substance in its attempt to be light and low-calorie. When the weather gets cold, a rich and hearty beef stew can be the perfect comfort food. Packed with tender beef, potatoes, carrots, and other vegetables, it warms you up and satisfies your hunger. While making stew from scratch is ideal, it can be time-consuming, which is why many turn to canned options for convenience. However, Dinty More Beef Stew falls short of expectations. Each can contains 990 milligrams of sodium, which is 40% of the recommended daily intake, making the stew extremely salty. This overwhelming saltiness masks the flavor of the beef, which is already in short supply. Many Walmart shoppers have noted that the recipe has changed over time, resulting in less beef and a less satisfying taste. One reviewer even compared it to dog food. If you're craving beef stew, it's probably better to skip the canned version and take the time to cook your own. When you see great value, it's easy to assume you're getting a solid product at a low price. Walmart's budget-friendly, great value chili with beans fits the mold. But unfortunately, it doesn't live up to expectations. While it's affordable, the flavor leaves much to be desired. The chili is overly spicy, and the ratio of beans to beef is off, with a heavy emphasis on beans and little beef. While some might enjoy it, many others are disappointed, with one reviewer even calling it the worst chili I have ever eaten from a can. It was super bland and the meat looked like it was broken off from a baking sheet of dry ground beef. Avoid settling for disappointing chili. Skip this can and save your taste buds the trouble. No Thanksgiving dinner feels complete without green beans, but if you're thinking about grabbing a can of great value French-style green beans from Walmart, think again. While it's affordable at just 50 cents, the can itself doesn't exactly inspire confidence. The beans have an unappetizing, pale color that immediately stands out as a sign of poor quality. Even more disappointing is the lack of added salt, resulting in a bland, flavorless experience. When it comes to green beans, taste matters, and unfortunately, this canned version falls short. If you're looking for something that complements your holiday meal, look elsewhere.
Being green is kinda cool.
Pears are typically prized for their soft texture and natural sweetness. Whether eaten fresh, poached, or tossed into a salad, they may not have the popularity of apples, but they're rich in nutrients like vitamin A, folate, and niacin, which contribute to everything from healthy skin to energy metabolism. Unfortunately, the great value pear halves from Walmart don't quite live up to the fruit's fresh reputation. These canned pears, packed in heavy syrup, arrive peeled and preserved, but not pleasantly. Visually, the fruit has been compared to raw chicken, and while syrup should enhance sweetness, it only overwhelms the natural flavor. Texture-wise, many reviewers express disappointment, noting that the pears are unexpectedly firm, closer to a crisp apple than the buttery softness you'd expect. One customer even claimed they were nearly rock solid, while another remarked the texture made them almost inedible. At least two halves were so hard that I could not cut them. Had to toss them. Walmart stocks better reviewed canned pear options, like Del Monte's sliced variety. But for a genuinely nutritious and satisfying fruit fix, you're far better off grabbing a few ripe pears from the produce aisle. Craving pumpkin pie? Whether it's fall or not, that cozy, spiced flavor can be tough to resist. But if you're banking on Libby's 100% pure canned pumpkin to bring your pie dreams to life, you might want to reconsider. While the label promises pure pumpkin with no added preservatives, the flavor and texture seem to miss the mark for many. Despite being a go-to brand, Libby's canned pumpkin has only a 3.9-star average on Walmart's website. That may sound decent, but nearly 1 in 8 reviewers gave it just 1 star. With close to 900 ratings, that adds up to over 100 disappointed customers. Common complaints mention a watery consistency, bland flavor, or gritty texture that doesn't hold up in pies or baked goods. Some even suggest it used to be better, but recent batches fall short. One reviewer insisted, "The grittiness in the teeth is pretty gross. If you are making something for a holiday dinner, don't use Libby's." Del Monte fruit cocktail in heavy syrup might seem like a convenient choice for a fruity snack, but it's not the refreshing treat you might expect. Packed with cherries, pineapples, peaches, grapes, and pears, it sits in heavy syrup rather than offering a natural burst of flavor. Walmart touts it as ideal for fruit salads, side dishes, or snacks, but it lacks the freshness of other options. While it doesn't contain preservatives, many consumers report issues like dented cans and extra stems mixed in. While the taste is acceptable, there are far better alternatives, whether store-bought or homemade, that offer a more enjoyable and hassle-free experience. Campbell's has long been a staple in the soup aisle, offering everything from classic chicken noodle to comforting tomato, but not all varieties are winners. Take, for example, Chunky Soup's baked potato with steak and cheese. Despite having a 4.1 out of 5-star rating on Walmart's website, it's one of the lower-rated options. Many reviewers are disappointed by the sparse amount of steak, with some even describing an unpleasant odor. While the combination of steak and baked potatoes sounds promising, this canned soup doesn't quite live up to the expectations. If you're craving a hearty soup, there are better options out there. Chicken and dumplings are a classic comfort food, so when we spotted a can of Sweet Sue chicken and dumplings at Walmart, we were eager to try it. Labeled as America's favorite, it seemed like a great choice. Unfortunately, the reality didn't match the hype. With a 3.7-star rating, many customers found the broth too watery and bland, lacking seasoning. One reviewer even described it as disappointing, leaving us to wonder if homemade versions might be the way to go instead. The worst dumpling I ever had. It was more like soup. Many canned comfort foods hit the spot, but this one definitely doesn't make the cut. Canned beans are a pantry staple, and while there are many options, Old El Paso traditional refried beans should be skipped. These beans, primarily made from pinto beans, water, and a touch of chili pepper, fail to impress. Walmart shoppers have shared disappointment over the product's recent decline in quality. Many believe the recipe has changed, leading to watery beans that don't have the creamy texture expected from refried beans. Instead of a satisfying, hearty side, it becomes an unpleasant dish. As one customer aptly put it, "Tonight I opened a can of Old El Paso traditional refried beans and found them to be very watery. I thought it was a bad can, so I opened 2 more, all resulting in the same runny texture, chemical smell, and taste. Unfortunately for Old El Paso, this is a change we can't get behind." Split pea soup is known for being both nutritious and satisfying, often packed with peas, garlic, and hearty ingredients. When bacon is added, it usually elevates the flavor, but unfortunately, that's not the case with Progresso's green split pea soup with bacon. The soup's pale, unappealing color already doesn't help its cause, and the packaging doesn't do it any favors either. While the soup has a decent rating of 4.2 out of 5 stars, many reviewers are disappointed with the lack of bacon. For a product that specifically touts bacon in the title, it barely contains any. Instead, it feels like a basic split pea soup, without the added punch of meat. Reviews on Walmart's website share similar frustrations, with customers hoping for a heartier, more flavorful soup, but instead finding themselves with a bland and underwhelming version. The peas were hard and there was hardly any bacon. Those craving classic split pea soup might find this one inconsistent, and bacon lovers definitely won't get their fix here.
Bacon? Gotta get that bacon!
As a kid, broccoli may have been the ultimate dinner table villain, but over time, many of us have come to appreciate its versatility, especially in cozy dishes like broccoli cheese soup. Rich, creamy, and loaded with flavor, it's supposed to be the kind of meal that converts even lifelong veggie skeptics. Unfortunately, Progresso's traditional broccoli cheese soup might just undo all that progress. Rather than delivering a satisfying balance of sharp cheese and tender broccoli, this canned option falls flat for many. According to Walmart reviewers, it's often thin, bland, and noticeably lacking in both key ingredients. Some say it tastes more like a salty broth than a hearty soup. One particularly unimpressed customer went as far as to compare it to an unpleasant wardrobe item, writing, "Both my wife and I tried a can of this soup. We both agree that there's this overwhelming taste of dirty socks. I tried adding some spices, and it only made it taste like spicy, dirty socks." Progresso may have a few misses, but they also offer plenty of tasty soups. Consider giving one of those a shot.